podcast. I am joined all the way from California by Timothy Hayden. Welcome back.
Man, it's good to be back, man.
You look good. You look good.
Yeah,
You've been working out. You were just telling
yeah.
me that you run to the beach.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sometimes, I'll probably like once a week um decide on like the cardio I'm gonna do. So if I run to the beach, I'll run there and back. I got to there's this new gym, I guess, that's open like now. It used to be like a Gold's gym, so I guess it's like EOS or something. I go there and try to still just continue like just my regular program if I was still, in the halfway house or whatever, certain days work on arms and chest, legs. Yeah, just try to, continue to stay healthy. That's
Do you
it.
feel like it's easier or harder now, like working out compared to when you're in the halfway house?
Um, no, I wouldn't say like it's harder. I mean, it can be like more distracting, I guess, now being out versus like the program, because there was things to do, but there wasn't like much to do. So I had that time to focus in and really get a workout in. Here it's like outside of working and doing other things, it's like, that can get distracting. So it's like, work, prime example, sometimes I get home from work and I be like, oh, I'm too tired. But then I have that discipline in me, like, nah,
Yeah.
just get like a little session in. Um, but it feels good though. It feels good. Like since what it's been like a month, I think a month and a half now since I fully been out. Man, Rich is like it feels great though. It feels great.
What's the biggest change, would you say?
The
So
biggest
from
change.
prison for 9 years, then you go to a
Mhm.
halfway house. How long were you there for?
I was at the halfway house for 14 months. Yep.
14 months.
Hmm.
And then now what is the situation?
The situation now is okay, so I'm in a place where I don't have to pay rent. I could be up there for like maybe 6 months to a year if I wanted to. But it's by my choice. If I really went out and found my own spot, I can do that. And then there's other little programs to help with that. But it's just a lot of more freedom. Like I haven't had too much of like down days, where like, some of them days where you just like, you know what, I'm gonna just stay in and just relax or whatever, have a lazy day. Like I probably like yesterday and I would say yesterday and maybe like 2 weeks ago, I had like a lazy day since I've been out. Like I probably had like two lazy days. Outside of that, everything has been like work and dealing
Why
with
don't
other
you
little things.
why do you designate it lazy rather than rest?
I don't know. To me, it's like, um, it's just one of those like just yeah, it can be rest, right? It can be like a reset day, like right. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess since prison or something like that, I always looked at that like, man, it's just a lazy day, like doing nothing around. Like you sleep in. You might like eat a little bit. You might watch a movie or a TV show or something like that. Like really just doing nothing. Like just sitting around doing nothing. Like to me, I don't know why. Like I do look at that like that's like having a lazy day. Like it's not yet. It can be like it's a reset day if you want to look at it like that. But I don't know. Man, that's just
Would
how I look at it.
would you say one of the biggest changes is no more ankle monitor?
Yeah, for sure. No more ankle monitor. No more being like tracked of like, okay, you can't go here, you can't go there. If I go over here, I don't have to risk like doing certain things to get sent back to prison. Like if I they called it like a deviation or something like that. In the program it was strictly like, okay, you go to work or you go to school and then it's back to the program. Here it's like I can do what I want. Like, I go to work. Um, just the other day, my little brother had a baby shower way in like another county, and I was able to make it to that. And it's like in the program, I wouldn't be able to do none of that stuff. Like you know, regardless of like how close a family member is. Like even when I went to my little cousin's like graduation, like and I'm out past curfew time for the program, like that curfew is like 7 o'clock, right? 7 p.m. Like I'm out with my family up until like 12 o'clock, midnight, and it's like
Yeah.
just not having to worry about that, like stress, like, oh man, like I'm gonna
Yeah.
get sent back to prison because I didn't make curfew or nothing like that. Like the place I'm at right now, they have a curfew 11:30, but if you're not gonna make it, in on curfew time, like you can always just send a text message like, hey, I'm doing this, I'm fine, this and that, and the people are pretty much understanding. So, like right there, like you feel that like you feel that relief of like, okay, I don't have to like I'm not as restricted as I was before,
Yeah,
and
all of that is like mental clutter. It's more data that you have to like sift through and process on a daily basis that just like slows everything down. You know,
it's a
friction.
real
It's friction.
it's a well, I would say it's like a real mental tease, right? Because when you have this ankle monitor on, and let's say depending on where a person is working, it's like you want to be able to do so many things because you're not in prison anymore, right? So it's like you want to be able to go to the mall, sit down, have some like something to eat, um, possibly meet up with somebody and just enjoy like each other's time. But it's like you're on like a time limit. Like you ain't supposed to be over here too long. Like that's gonna be considered a deviation. We check your monitors. It's like, man, we'll send you back. Like we sending you back to prison. And it's
Mhm.
like it's crazy because you try to like in your head, you try to get some sense of like I'm out of prison, but I'm like because I got this ankle monitor on, like I'm low key really still I'm in prison. Like that's like the whole mental
Yeah.
like it's a whole mental conflict within yourself because I met a lot of dudes who they didn't have like discipline or structure, so it's like they got to running around, they got loose, and it's like it's kind of like they went back to prison and stuff like that, and it's just uh I tell people now like that's still in there, like is you're gonna love it, like once you really get out, like you're gonna love it, like it's like you really got your freedom back.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
I was so we're putting together Dracula by Bram Stoker, the rich edition of it.
Yeah.
And when we started, we selected it because it's an iconic book. It's like the 10th rich edition classic now that we've done. And we have these like this stellar lineup of iconic classics. And when we started the project then and we started going into it, we're like, oh, this is like 500 plus pages. And so it's been a long project. And I was looking it up. It took Bram Stoker 7 years to research and write Dracula. And
Yeah.
it was published all at once rather than at the time, like during this time, this is like late 19th century. A lot of books we know now were published originally in like newspapers or journals, like weekly, like little sections, and
Hmm.
then put together as a big book. And I was thinking about you, and did you ever think, so if you're in prison for 9 years, you know, theoretically, you could have written a classic.
For
You could
sure.
have really, really like took your time on a big project and have something with it. Did you ever think about that?
Yeah, I mean, when I first got into writing, like the first thing, and which is crazy because before I even got on, before I got on the Zoom meeting with you, I'm putting all this right here, right? This is the first thing I ever wrote,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
It's
wow.
my
Okay.
essays that we talked about. So I'm putting all that into the computer right now. And at first I looked at it, I'm like, okay, well, can I do a novel? And I'm like part of me would love that, but then it was like
You
another
could if
part
you
where
put
it's
your
like,
mind to it,
no, no, for sure, for
if you
sure.
chose that. Yeah.
But I always try to look at it like, okay, well, it it seems like a lot of people attention span isn't there. So, you know, I would just rather break it down. But yeah, 9 years is a good amount of time of where I could have just like focused in. Well, in the beginning part of it, that would have been hard because I was dorm living. So it was too much going on, and I wasn't into my writing. I want to say maybe my first like my first year in, year and a half in. Like I would journal, but I wasn't like into like the writing part of it. Like not until I got to the whole. So this was like
Mm,
2018. And
okay.
yeah, at that time, yeah, I did. I was like, you know what, I can write a book. And the first thing was like a novel, like, I write a book. So that came to mind. But as the years, moving forward, I kind of was like, like, people attention span is not that big. Like, okay, well, I do a poetry book, but I was doing essays as well. So I'm like, I'll publish the essays, but not make it that long, to where it can still be like engaging and like, a
Okay.
reader probably wouldn't lose focus or nothing like that. But there is a story that I have in mind. It's about a good kid who just like trouble just finds him, right? I don't know if I want to make that into a short story, a novella, or a novel. Like I'm not sure where I want to go with. I guess I'm kind of leaning towards the short story part of it, but it's an actually good story to where it's like so many events is happening, and that might be a novella, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure
I
yet.
like novellas. What would you say is
I mean,
considered a novella? Like what length?
uh, I want to say it was between like maybe 60, 80 pages or something. No more than maybe up to 100, but no more than 100 for a
Yeah,
novella.
I don't know about I don't see when I'm like collaborating with people, I don't discuss pages. It's more about word count because it depends on then the size of the book that determines how many pages and
Right.
like other design elements, you know. Um, I feel like 20,000 to 40,000 words. I feel like that's kind of the novella wheelhouse.
Hmm.
Maybe even up to 50,000. I don't know. Maybe not quite that, but
But it'd be around there, and it's like,
yeah.
yeah, I'm not really sure how I want to go about that, and like, I never did a word count for my short story, but I got it to like 19 pages, and I left it at that. Um, but I don't know. I think I might just turn it into a short story, but make it a very compelling short story. Like this kid goes through a
We're
lot of
okay. I
yeah,
feel like you could make it more of a novella because like we have a few people doing short story collections, and each
yeah,
story is about like 5 to 6,000 words.
uh-huh.
So that would be, I don't know, 30 pages. I don't know,
Mm.
math, some
For a
type of
short
math.
for a short story, I mean, 30 is low. Well, no, that's not that bad. That's not bad actually. 30 pages for a short
Let
story. It's
me
not bad.
let me quickly do some math. So if something is 6,000, about like 24 pages.
Oh no, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you share what you're working on right now?
The okay. I'm gonna have to do well, I want to send this to Claire too. Can I open this up without oh I can't. Okay, so let me see something. Um okay, bam. So this is like this is like when I first began writing. So it's like I did a lot of essays, and I just had like the randomest thoughts come to me, and I mean, okay, this one was inspired like after I read like James Allen and stuff. Um I was like So I titled this, right? I titled this "This Is Us Being Us," and this is, I guess, this is like my reflective essay in a way. But then again, I was gonna come to you to see like what can we really do with this anyway. So I said, let's take a look at ourselves for a minute. Men and women seeking pleasure, excitement, transgressions, control, and novelty. This is us being us. We are consumed with passion, lust, deceitfulness, pride, avarice, vanity, self will, and dependency. We focus a lot on what's happening on TV or how the music is sounding now or what's trending on social media. Anything that distracts us from facing reality and from achieving self mastery and handling responsibilities. We are intrigued to be moved by laughter, anxiety, and tears. As humans, we are focused on competition for amusement and diversion. Material things we cannot take with us in the hereafter. We are simply living day by day, paycheck to paycheck to survive, but are not doing enough to truly live and enjoy life. We are in such search for happiness to the point we are rushing in blind, thinking we will find it, but we will not find it. True happiness comes from a healthy spirit. Spiritually, happiness and harmony are synonymous. Happiness is that inward state of perfect satisfaction, which is joy and peace, and from which all of our desires are extirpated. But since this is impossible, we will always be in a state of enmity, greed, selfishness, frustration, and calamity. From the outside looking in, it will seem stasis. Truth be told, we are actually putting ourselves in a self created purgatory. We jump into situations mechanically and become frustrated by the outcome. And because of evolution, will contradict our morals and principles. Um, it's more, but it's just something. It's just something I'm just.
it's very truthful. I mean, it's like
Yeah,
you ever think
like
about that? How like never mind, go ahead.
no, no, no. Go ahead. What you gonna say?
Something on my mind lately is just the abundance of diversions and distractions. It's just like it's so endless and like the so many people are suffering not because we're lacking in material things, not because we're
Uh,
lacking in medicine or lack of food or like safety. It's this like hour by hour, day by day, lacking in purpose and just filling one's life with just things to pass the
nah,
time, you know?
that's what we're doing. Like I just looked at the date, right? So I wrote that. I wrote that May 10th, 2018. That's when I
Okay.
first like. So I was May 10th. I was in the hole when I wrote that. Yeah, I was in the hole when I wrote
How do
that.
you how do you feel that so you're like reflecting on society or people, right?
Hmm.
How do you feel it's changed from 2018 to now?
Like my perspective on it.
Or how has the situation changed from your observations?
Well, I guess like at that time, I was looking at it through. I could say it was like a narrow lens. Like I was just looking at it from like the news and everything, and just I guess my own personal experience, just reflecting back on that at that time. So now that I'm out, like I'm fully just seeing everything for what it is. Like the places I go now, the people I converse with, um, and just everybody that's closest to me. Like since I've been back, like I just been observing them and stuff like that. So um, I think the only thing now is like it's more in depth, which is like okay, I'm just typing in right now everything I just read to you. to me that's just a rough draft of it. Like I'm gonna go back later on and clean it up because I do have a different perspective, now versus then, to where it's like I can go in depth with certain things and maybe just take out certain things, show a little more understanding. Back then, like I wasn't like I was just basically like it kind of felt like I was attacking in a way. Versus now it's
Yeah.
like, I had like that more understanding, like everybody's seeking pleasure because it's like sure, look, times is hard. The presidency that we're under, it's like gas prices. It's like, as we're older now, rent and all that stuff. Like it's just, it's a lot. So, you know, people want to run to things that make them feel good, and like nobody really like reality is just it's so hard to look at. So
Mm.
it's like yeah, like this is us being us. It's like we do a lot of things, just we indulge in things we shouldn't be indulging in. Um, we do all type of deceitful things just to make us feel good, right? Or probably to not hurt someone else's feelings or whatever. But you know, it's just like since I've been back, it's just seemed like man, this has been like a cold world. Like society has just been ugly, and
Oh, that's an interesting observation. So you're in like isolation. You're in this isolation for so long, and you come out and you feel the world is cold. It's interesting.
no, it is though. Like, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, you have some warm spots, but yeah, no, like I kid you not, like, okay, when we were talking in the beginning, well, when I first got out, right, and I was just my car alone, right, I'm spending so much on this car, and it's like people are just trying to like hit me upside the head with this price and that price and this price, and there's no consideration into what else a person has going on, and I'm like this is really life now. Like this is life,
Yeah.
And I'm talking to my little brother, and my little brother's like, man, just welcome back to the real world. And this really is this is the real world. It's like it's bills, it's high payments. A meal itself is just like outrageous. And for what? Like, why does a meal at McDonald's cost this much or something like that? Even though I don't eat McDonald's, but it's just like, oh my goodness. And it's like nobody really cares. It's like the average person is living paycheck to paycheck. And it's like, man, like nobody really has like that consideration for the next human being. Like we see like just with the presidency, like I was saying, like just with all this gas and this war that's going on, it's like how it affects people at the pump. And it's like, oh my goodness. It's just it's a lot. It's a lot. And then you got certain jobs where they're playing people out of their checks, and it's like they're not putting that into consideration too, like what this person might be going through, and it's like, and it's all just to benefit them, to make them feel good or whatever the case may be. And it's like I don't know, like, and I feel like when I wrote it at that time, like I'm on the right track. But now I have the understanding though, like you know older now, 30. Back then when I wrote that I was 22. So I have way more understanding than I did back then when I wrote it. So that's like the thing right there. So and that's why I want to go. I'm gonna clean it up. I'm gonna clean it up for sure. There's certain things in here that I'm taking out. I'm not putting in because I think it'll be like controversial around like this wave right now, this climate. Because and I was already seeing this in prison, right? Everything had to be politically correct, and this generation is like it's a lot of like sensitive topics and stuff, so it's
Yeah.
like it's just certain things I'm just leave out.
Well, we can
Also,
curate it. I mean, we'll talk. We'll have our sessions and we can
yeah.
figure it out. How does it feel to type on a computer now versus
Oh,
typing you're
to
writing on
write
a
on the
phone?
phone. Oh my goodness, like when I was just typing it this morning, like that just, and since I've been typing it, like it just felt good. Like I could sit here freely and stuff like that. And it's a lot. It's a lot of words. Like I probably got to do a word count just to see how many words I just typed up. But it does feel good. Like on the phone, It's like I don't know, like the phone, like holding my phone in a weird way, like my fingers like get numb or something like that. Here I can
Right.
just relax, and I mean maybe the stressful part is like looking over at it because I don't have glasses, so it's like I gotta really like squint, look down at the words, and make sure I'm spelling the words right, and I'm like, I'm not overlapping or I'm not skipping a line or something like that, to where it's like, oh man, I gotta go back. But
Yeah.
it's pretty much way easier now, like just having this whole laptop and just having, I got this document writer, I got the Google Docs, having like the apps I need on my laptop to really like help with the writing or to like, just continue it. Like it is like it's helpful. It's easy.
That's got to be night and day. I think it's good to have limitations starting out. So then you like get really focused, you get really good, and then when you acquire the better tools, it's you can just go light speed, you know?
Hmm.
Whereas like if you have the best tools already, you don't develop that like hunger or innovation or creativity in working in the constraints. And
Hmm.
then later it's like easier. Yeah, everything's
Yeah,
easier. You know
nah.
what I mean?
I still like to like I still like to write stuff on pen and paper. Like I still journal like that. Like I don't journal on my laptop. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just putting all my work here into the laptop, but like I still like to just pen and paper and just write. Like I still
It is
and I'm
different.
honestly
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold on. No, I want to hold on to that because that is like the our most ancient form of writing, and it's like to me, it's like you can never. I feel like the pen and paper is more therapeutic. You know, it's
Yeah,
like
totally.
it's more therapeutic for
Yeah.
me. So, I do like the pen and paper, but then I just transfer everything over. If I want this, like if I'm gonna make this into something, then I'll transfer it over. But just to jot down some thoughts or whatever, notes, just write it out. Like,
Yeah, I use this as like scrap paper. So like
mhm.
um but I journal every day in like a Moleskine Excel in cursive, of course. And do you ever feel like, like especially like writing letters, which we've done, the amount of deliberation and attentiveness to like each sentence when you're writing it physically, you're
Yeah.
right. There's like that like therapeutic feel. And then when you're done, it feels so good. Do you find though, when you put it into the doc and you're typing, you're like, oh, that was only 500 words, you know? You always think it's longer
Um,
because you spent so much time on it.
on paper, yeah, you'd think it's longer, but then when you put it into the doc, it's like, oh, it wasn't that long. Like a lot of this stuff, like right now, these works, like, okay, I wrote something, like, okay, prime example, this is us being us. On paper, that's a 1.5 page thing I wrote. But on the doc, it's just like it's just seeming like it's just one page. So it's like, and I didn't do like the lining yet and all that stuff. So maybe like once I do that, like it'll change up or whatever. Um,
That's not a whole
but it
lot
does,
though. A page and a half.
yeah, no, it's not. So yeah, nah, I am gonna be curious to see now like that, because you know how, okay, in the beginning when we were doing either my poetry or two views and one vision, I'm typing everything on the phone, and then like you were seeing like what kind of like line and space I was using, and
Oh,
it's
yeah, that was the poetry book. Yeah.
yeah, so it's like this right here, like I haven't did that, but just to see like, just I guess the difference now, like I can have like full control instead of like, what you saying, like, oh, I'll just figure it out. What's good,
Yeah, yeah.
what's the better alliance spell? I can figure that out on my part now and then see how it all looks at the end. Um, yeah, it's just man, like, and it was crazy too because in the beginning when I first got out, I was procrastinating on going to get the laptop, like probably for like some weeks, and then I just woke up and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna head to Target and just go get it. Like, just stop playing. And
Yeah.
that felt good though. That felt good. Like, and just never looked back since then. Like, just
So
never
you
looked back.
got you got the MacBook Neo,
Hmm.
right? Which color? Indigo?
It's no, I think it's like a blue. Yeah, it's like a navy blue.
Yeah.
So they had a
I'm very curious about it because like I have a MacBook Air. I realize more and more how curious I am about Apple and Apple products because the ecosystem for me creates a frictionless process and system for me to like I have a lot of digital files, a lot going on. And so to be able to like move them around a lot
Mhm.
um, is really important to me. And I have like 6 iPhones and I'm always curious about Apple
why so
products
many phones?
for the podcast. So, and like
Right.
other things too, like recording. I have thousands of recordings that aren't uh, online or public or anything. I like documenting and like putting ideas, thoughts into like a file.
Hmm.
And the podcast, though, my podcast is designed for mobility and agility. So everything, my setup fits in a briefcase. So I can haul a briefcase around with 3 tripods, 4 iPhones, well, as many iPhones, whatever, accessories, notebooks, and go anywhere and record with anyone. I look at these other podcasts and I think they're too vain. They're too much into their own vanity to where they think a podcast, when you're creating it, it has to look a certain way. You have this big, one of like everybody's got to have like these and these high tech um
I was seeing the little ones like you could just
cameras.
clip on. You can clip
Yeah.
onto your shirt or something like that.
But um I think that and like having a studio, you have to have a studio and all this like production. I think there's a better way to do it because then with all the Apple products, you can seamlessly like I can airdrop this person's audio to this device and then my audio to this device. Um, when I was working at Lincoln Station in Chicago, we're a Buffalo Bills bar, and NFL Films came in and did a special on us, being a Bills bar in Chicago, and the Bills are really good. And they brought a crew in, like 5 people, and like 6 carts full of like trunks and equipment. And I'm observing this like I could do exactly what they're doing all on iPhones in a briefcase. Like I understand the NFL has a lot of money and cash to throw around, but it's like there's a lack of ingenuity, a lack of creativity, and something people aren't they don't I don't think they fully comprehend because it's not something people regularly would think about, but the microphones in iPhones are fantastic.
Yeah.
How do you think when you're scrolling Instagram or TikTok or Twitter, how do you think all of a sudden these ads show up that seem perfectly tailored to you? It's because your phone on a regular basis has a great microphone and can pick up on all your conversations. We know
Right.
from, like NSA leaks that the government can listen to like our through our phones and stuff. So I just use that to my advantage and just use something that's small and agile rather than, something big and enormous and it doesn't have like a software to uh, connect with something else. I'm really passionate about digital file organization, Timothy.
I was watching this. It was these kids in Africa, right? They were making like a music video, and we talk about like how these industries, right, just in their old ways and stuff, and how they lack the ingenuity and stuff. And I was seeing how like these kids, how they made their videos. Like, okay, if we think about like maybe like early 2000s, how a music video, you got the big the cameraman, the microphone
Yeah.
person right there and stuff like that. Like these kids didn't need none of that stuff. Like they literally just
Yeah.
had their phones. They had like what is it like what is that like the little stick or something like that that the phone can be clipped to. Like they have
Oh,
like
like
they have
a selfie stick?
basically right, yeah.
Okay.
Like they have the selfie stick and it's like they just go around just with that and they just made their video and it was like you wouldn't like to me like that was so like I looked at it like this is where this wave is headed now. Like we're headed into this wave where you don't need like a whole camera crew or you know like you can really do things. If you have an iPhone, you can literally do things from your iPhone. Like the camera itself, like how you can make it has like that feature where you can make your own movie or something like that is like it's very different. And I
What
see like
what model iPhone do you have?
15.
15. I have a 13 mini. I don't want to get another iPhone until it's like this size again, like the slim.
Where's my
I have
phone?
three others of these. So this one it's
Yeah.
starting to zap out, so I'm going to substitute it, but
And I
uh
would think because you got the 13, right? So I don't know, like
yeah, the 13 mini.
I didn't want to go too. I think the 15, like the size of it is good. Like keep in mind, like when I left, like my last I had the 5S when I left. So yeah.
Yeah, you've been in prison for a while.
Yeah, I had the 5S when I left. So but I mean, what was it? The 6 Plus was out, but I just had the 5S. And
That was the
yeah,
perfect size. That's what the mini size is.
yeah. Like, but I think the 15 is cool. I miss like the thumbprint on there. Like you could just use your
Oh
thumbprint
yeah,
now.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
this whole like I was pretty against the facial recognition. I felt I don't know, like that's really a
I
way
still don't
for
have it. I don't have that on my stuff.
on the
I
face
don't know why.
the facial recognition.
Yeah, yeah, I don't apply to it. I'm seeing trying to see my closet here, looking if I have. No, I don't see it. I was going to show you. I have these adjacent topic, but when I'm recording shows, like if I go on tour with musicians and people, or if I know I'm going to be outside and there's going to be some wind, I have bean bags. So I have these like cornhole bean bags that I bought that I travel with. I put them in my briefcase and I always get stopped by TSA through security. And then they pull out these bean bags and they're like, "What is this?" I'm just like, "A bean bag? I don't know." I got them on Amazon, so hopefully they're legit.
Mm.
But uh yeah, ingenuity. I feel like that's something that's just lacking in society's imagination. And when we wrote our second book, Humanity and Society, like that was what I observe as one of the biggest problems in the world. It's just like this stuck kind of framework that is just lacking imagination. And with imagination, that's when we solve problems and do better stuff.
I feel like I'm a little guilty of that. Like because it's change, right? Like nothing stays the same forever. Like times change. Like, and this is the wave that we're in, and you do have those people who want things to stay how they are or how they once were back then. And the reason why I say I'm guilty of that too, because I sometimes look at that too, like, the terms we're using now, like I feel like we could have just left it at what it was back then. Certain other things, but slowly I'm accepting like this is just, the society we're in, like this is I guess what we're doing. And it's not to just submit to it and be like, you know what, I'm gonna be like this conformist or whatever. Like, nah, I still trying to be like that non-conformist where it's like I'm not accepting that. Like I don't want to be saying this, I don't want to be doing that, I don't want to be using this term or nothing like that. But just what we're doing, like
Yeah.
just having our publishing company, like, yeah, we don't need these big publishing companies to, define. Because I look at it too, like they once started where we were at, and it's
Yeah, see, I
like,
look at it when I say imagination and lacking, I'm talking more institutions rather than um socially in society, I feel like. I don't know.
yeah, no, 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 no. I
I'm
get it.
definitely
I get what you're
thinking
saying.
our institutional structures and just like yeah. What's something you're curious about recently?
Mm, um, how this next presidency is gonna go? Like, I'm curious about that. Like, who, like, are we gonna have like a Democrat or we're gonna have another Republican? Like, will things kind of like soften up, with like this inflation or something like that? Like, I'm curious about that because, I doubt we'll have like another pandemic right now. I see that maybe in 10 years or something like that, we might have another one. But yeah, I'm just curious to see how like the next presidency is gonna go. And especially now being out. Um, Yeah, I'm just curious about that. And then also too, like once I'm off parole, like just really like how life is gonna go. Like once I'm fully off parole, like I'm able to go out there, travel and stuff. Yeah, I'm just really curious about that. Like just getting on the plane and visiting this place and that place and just exploring new
What's the
things.
first place on the list?
Um, the first place, it's out of it's out of there, Chicago or Atlanta. I don't know, I'm kind of leaning towards Atlanta first, then Chicago, but I'll see like when that time comes. But it's out of those two spots.
And what's the parole end date?
So I think long as I continue to work, no more than 8 months, but 12 months, the latest, the longest. I haven't had a chance to really talk to my parole officer because he's so busy. So our next meeting, I want to ask him like, hey, like, when do you think how long do you think I got to give you on parole? And he'll probably just come up with an answer like, because right now he's trying to push to speed up this committee process where right now we do check-ins twice a month, but he's trying to switch that now to like once every other month because he sees like I'm the type of person, I don't give him no problems. I take care of business. I check in with him more than he checks in with me. You know, he basically told me like he lets me run my own program because he see like I handle business. So me personally, I'm trying to give it like 8 months. Like I'll be on like maybe for 7 more months. Like I'll be on parole and then that's a wrap. So well by January, maybe by January, I want to say it should be good. Which
What's
that'll be
your
good.
what's your relationship with time like when you constantly are living under these parameters? Do you feel like time goes slow? Does it go fast? How do you think about
Nah,
it?
in prison. Dang, that's a good question. That's a very good question. That's a funny question too. Um, I'll probably say, okay, so in prison, it just depended on the day. Like time kind of went by fast. There were days where time went slow. In the program, in the halfway house, I say that time went by fast. Especially once I started working, like that time went by very fast. And then now that I'm out and I'm not really like under much like restriction or someone else's time like that, like it's going by fast. Like it is going by fast.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so if yeah, that's crazy you just said that. And I just really thought about that too. Like, man, like it seemed like I was telling somebody, actually I was telling a friend, we was out one night. We was coming from this bar by this beach, and he was, he has a Tesla, so he's charging up there. And like just looking at him, like I'm like, man, like it seemed like yesterday when we were young and I was leaving to prison. But now that I'm back, it's like it feels like that time flew.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah. But part of me too just feel like it didn't really fly. It just got done. Like, it just got done. Cause I used to ask a person that, like when I first came in, he was doing like he had been in for like 10 years, and I was like, did you feel like that 10 years kind of flew by or something like that? He was like, it just got done. Like, that's all it was. It just got done.
Huh.
And you know and I guess right there you could probably look at it like that's a like kind of like vague answer in a way, but then again it is like it just got the time just got done. Like, you can't really say it was slow, it was fast, it just got done. Like,
I
you
like that. Like
know
it's I feel like that's more in line of the true nature of time. Because it's not like it just happens. It's not like a,
not like
you
really think
know?
the moment from the moment you and I first started corresponding, right, to now, like, and that was 2020. So this is 6 years, right? Like, that's kind of getting there as a long time. But like, and just think about back to like you receiving a prison letter from me waiting to receive a letter from you, and we just writing each other. It's like from that time to now, like, does it feel like that flew, or like the years just got done? Like,
I often share with people that COVID COVID altered my perception of time. Like I can't tell, and certainly when we were like in the pandemic, I couldn't tell if time was accelerating super quickly or if it was going by really slow. I just like my whole sense of time was skewed since 2020. So I don't know if it's almost like this like line in the sand where it's like perception before the pandemic and then after, and then also like aging and um like the older you get, time seems to fly by faster because you've experienced so much time. Whereas like
mhm,
children, if they're 4 years old, they've only lived 4 years, so their sense of time is only like everything is so slow. You're waiting for Christmas. Oh, that's 2 months away. Well, you don't have much experience with 2 months. So you
yeah.
think it's so far away, but for, older people, it just flies by. And I think about that too with like all you really have is right now, the present. And if you don't be active towards something in your life, then the days will just pile up and you'll just like reflect back 2 years from now and be like, what did I even do? Like what do I have to show for it or what, you know what I mean? I
Mm,
think from the time we started writing each other, I think it's gone by fast. I think it's gone especially fast since you went to the halfway house and I moved from Chicago back to rural Wisconsin. I feel like it
mhm.
that I feel like that's gone by really quick.
Because I remember you were, I was like at not the last prison, but the second last prison. I remember, okay, even when you was telling me that, how you did plan on moving to Los Angeles, but then for whatever reason, changes came about and you went to rural Wisconsin. Well, I know because you was out there with your grandma. And looking back too, like, dang, like that was like, what was that, like a year and a half ago? No, no, maybe
No,
two,
it's almost
almost
two
2 years ago.
years.
Yeah, 2 years. Like that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like, and I remember sitting in the cell reading that letter. Like, I'm like, ah, man, Rich not coming to LA, man.
Yeah.
Like,
That was a real like pivot in life. So like I was with some friends who I was very close with and are music artists, and we kind of collectively decided to leave Chicago and go to Los Angeles. In
mhm,
Chicago, I often say people often either go to New York or Los Angeles. And I love New York so much. But it was kind of bizarre that it turned out to be Los Angeles that I was going to pursue next and not New York. And, I spent some time out there and I'm like, oh yeah, I see what I see it
well, I mean,
with Los Angeles.
the weather itself is gonna be New York for sure. Like
That's true. Um, the car thing is a thing for me though.
that
You
too.
got to
It's
drive
like
everywhere in Los Angeles. But it's like there's like a magic in Los Angeles. I can't really just describe it. It's just like there's this aura and you're just walking and there's just like plants everywhere and it's so vast and it's just like there's so
Mhm.
Los Angeles, I remember feeling I'm so grateful that this is an American city. Like it's such a powerhouse of an urban center, even though it really isn't really a center, it's more of a spread out. Um, yeah, and then to like then change and go back to rural Wisconsin is quite the contrast. And I was thinking about it come recently. I'm almost like on 2 years now from when I moved back, and
Yeah.
it's gone by really quick. And recently I was in the line in the DMV, and before I went to the DMV, I was like on my way out the door and I was like, oh, let me grab a book. Let me see let me just pick up a book before I go. And I'm all my books are on my floor in my studio. So then like I'm going through them. I just want something thin. I just want something digestible. And I found Walden. So it was by Henry David
Oh,
Thoreau. Yeah.
yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, I'll bring Walden with me. And I'd read it in 2021 and I'm just waiting at the DMV and I got through like two chapters and it's really interesting how there's so much correlation between Walden and what I was experiencing just like out here in nature and just being out in like rural America and experiencing that and taking walks in the woods all the time and just just like chilling
I
and
remember when you I
reflecting
remember
on
when you wrote
life
that
and
when you wrote that to me, I was like, yeah, he's kind of like he's on some Henry David Thoreau tip right there. Want to be into nature and to
yeah,
see what truths would unfold going into nature, which is cool though. Like I wanna go out there and just sit out there with you a few times just to really like because I like being in nature for some reason.
yeah.
I don't know, like it's just it's like a different type of calm and therapy to me. Like just
Oh, it's so healing. And the smell, like,
Mm,
it's just so fresh. It's so raw. It's so alive. Especially like after the rain. We went through a stretch. It was the rainiest April in Wisconsin, southeast Wisconsin on record. And then May was the wettest
mhm,
month on record. And once that first rain happened and I walked into the woods, I could I could like feel and smell nature exhale. Like it was like after the rain, I could like sense nature like did the same thing and all the animals and the birds chirping and I'm really in tune with nature and all the birds and the hawks and I was walking through the woods this morning and there's deer tracks on the path and yeah, all the birds and all the different sounds I'm starting to identify and like the sounds of the birds and uh, but also so he Henry David Thoreau did 2 years, 2 months, 2 days at Walden Pond. And I'm coming up
mhm,
on 2 years. And I was looking into his reasoning for why he left. And it was just like he was re-engaging into society. Like it wasn't intended to be permanent. It's just like to reset himself and enter society again with a more like calm and like different perspective.
mhm.
And I start to feel that a little bit too.
I wanted to
Uh,
ask you this, right? Because you spoke about New York, and I've always been curious about going to New York. What was the vibe like for you when you went out there?
I love New York. I'm going to New York for 2 weeks at the end of July too. Um, the energy. I just love the energy. Like I want to be around. Like I love something I love about Chicago. It's always been like there's always something going on. There's always people around, and I really love people and the energy and connecting with ideas and like these are cities are exchanges of information in the world. That's why I'm so drawn to them because I love pursuing ideas and I'm a social person and I love being around that. There's like a magnitude and a gravity, and New York is just like amplified to the tens, where this is like the cultural center of planet Earth. And so much has happened there and continues to happen there. And there's just like a resilience, a vibe, I mean, overall, like energy. You just like
Uh,
it's like you when you're there, you have more energy than when you're not there. It's like this weird thing where it's contagious. It's
Yeah.
like it's like you don't feel tired as much because it's just like you embody it all and yeah, a lot of it's like the world in a city. It's like
Well,
fantastic. Yeah.
I asked that because I got a friend that lives out there, and he was just telling me like the moment I decide to like come out there, especially doing what I do, like my open mic nights and stuff like that. He was like, man, like you're gonna love it, like just the vibe, the people, like what you got to say, and it's like you just he kind of said that too, like the energy of it. So I was like, I was just curious to get your opinion about that. Because I do
So
now, like,
my aspiration, like one of the next steps I want to take with Blue Byron Books is to get a space in New York and sell Blue Byron books and Blue Byron
mhm,
merch, have a coffee bar, and then like a space where we could do um, ticketed events. So like poetry readings, maybe music, speaking, just like a space where we can also record podcasts, content, just kind of like a whole uh, thing. That's what I would like us to work towards. That's what's energizing me right now.
Kind of like having like a brick and mortar headquarters out there or something, or
Yeah. Yeah.
that's where you want to be, New York. Not, I would think Chicago, if anything, because you're more like,
Um, well, New York, there are certain things for different areas, but I think um, to launch, it would be more so New York. Yeah.
mm. Yeah, I gotta, cause like right now, okay, and that's another thing too, like just fully being out of the halfway house, like, I went to actually my first week, right? Yeah, that so I got out on a Monday, and that Saturday I went to my first open mic night that I had planned since April. So, and I wanted to like just get the feel like how it, how would the vibe be me being on stage reciting one of my poems or something like that. And because that's always been the thought for me too. Like I want to go around like cities and just recite stuff, and go around different states and just go to open mic nights and recite things. And I do see myself, Chicago, New York, Atlanta, like really finding those little events and going and like just I don't know, just really like taking in everything that's new, like for me. Um,
That'd be quite the stimulation, I feel like.
yeah. For me, it would really mean a lot just going from this to that. And it's like kind of like since I've been outside of work, like I just been like, friends, they see like, man, I see like you've been living life. And like I always said, like, yeah, like when I come home, like I'm doing this right. Like I'm doing exactly what I planned on doing, and I'm not wavering from my plan. Like I'm not. And so far, yeah, I have. Like it's been feeling good. Like just even the little open mic nights out here, like it's been feeling really good. People that come up to you after when you sit down, oh man, I loved your poem. It really
Yeah.
resonated with me and this and that. Like that feels good. Like that feels good. I have yet to do like one of those like the storytelling events, like the moth. I have yet to do that. I guess I gotta find tickets to like see like when they're gonna host one in downtown LA. Um, but I want to do that too though, because I don't know, like when I first did that, I felt so alive. Like it was different, you
Yeah.
know.
Alive. That's a great word. I've been thinking about that word and using it more. I feel like, especially in my journal in the morning, is just like the word alive, implementing the word alive. And you can see it. You can see it like when you're just around other people, like who's who's alive and who's not. Like who yeah,
No, for real.
people are breathing, like these mammals, we're all mammals breathing, but
Uh,
who is truly
this
alive, you
is
know?
this no, that's a good question, right? Like I've literally like, and it wasn't intentional. I was just I felt like I just gave an opinion, right? Like this woman, she posted on her Facebook. She said something about life, like life hasn't been feeling well, she okay, and I quote, life has been feeling pretty shitty lately, right? This is what she said. So I comment, I'm like, well, maybe you just haven't found nothing, that's fulfilling for you yet, right? And it wasn't intentional, like what you're doing is just meaningless or anything like that. You just haven't found nothing that fulfills you, at the moment. And like she immediately attacked me and like, who are you? And this and that. And it's like,
See, that's why she's feeling shitty. It's
so
like
it's like, but it showed me though, like it's not even just her, like there's a lot of people where it's like they don't really like they're not doing nothing to make them feel alive. Like they're not like, people think they think they're doing like what they love or what they like, but it's not really them. And it's like
yeah.
you know, there is no like real genuine like internal self-fulfillment, like doing something like hobbies and engaging in hobbies or whatever that you truly love. Like, you know, there's none of that. And I guess too that went into like the whole this is us being us in a way. Like I was already seeing that back then. But now it's
Yeah,
like that I'm out. It's like I'm truly seeing that now. And yeah, it's just for me, I love it though, because just since I've fully been out, like I just been doing everything. And I haven't really had like a real like stressing. I haven't been like I hadn't really had no real problems like that. Like every day is like is I'm doing something that I love to do. And it's like I'm said like I have that boundary where it's like, you know, you don't come into my circle with negativity. You know, it's
yeah,
like, you know, this is like what I'm doing, and just really being consistent with that and real firm with that. Like it's just been making me I don't know, I've been having like internal joy like since I've fully been out.
I love it. I love it, man.
Yeah.
That's a great way to close out too. So, Timothy, thanks for coming on. As always, always appreciate our conversations, and we'll chat next time.